Okay, chicos? That's part of the rescue center. Alright, it's part of the rescue center. Oxygen, but the water, okay? Now, okay. Alright, excuse me. Oh, yes.
Welcome, or bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos to Costa Rica.
Bienvenidos a Costa Rica.
Wait, shut up. We got our first little leg of the journey down from Des Moines to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Costa Rica. With Parker there too, and Jared, and me.
Point it back to me.
Met a bunch of people. Met a bunch of other people that we don't know, and some of the people that we do know. And
At least we aren't having to share a room with them, but
we're sharing a room together.
That's fine.
Are you retarded?
Me?
I think you are.
So anything
No.
parking vans related that I was gonna
Were
be
you
in.
calling me?
Oh boy, it ain't gonna be there.
What time is it?
Come to them with these
It
viewers.
is 9:15.
It's Costa Rican time.
Because I need to reset my camera because it likes to do this. Oh.
Go big or go home.
I forgot to grab my camera while we were in Des Moines and in Atlanta.
Here, look how amazing that picture quality is.
So we're at some convenience store-esque place here in Costa Rica on our way to La Fortuna from San Jose, and we just went down some of the windiest roads I think I've ever seen in my life, and we're actually now in like a rainforest thing, I guess, like tropical area where it basically rains all the time up here, and I guess it's also like in the rainy season according to we're humans. So it's pretty much, and this is like just fog and humidity and stuff. Like it's basically we're in a cloud right now. We're on a mountain. That road up there's where we came from, and it was just twists and turns the entire way. And we've actually crossed the continental divide of the area, and now we're on our way that way to La Fortuna.
To protect, no, dale. It's because we're very heavy.
Don't NFC my camera. Cease.
Ooh,
Cease.
it didn't do anything.
Was it me?
Did you
That's-
break his phone?
No. That's the title card. So
No, he just made the magnetic back come off.
day 2 down. What did we do today, boys? We went to a volcano. We hiked about the volcano. I think I
have a slideshow. Here is our slideshow of the day. So, this is what happened today. First we went to this hotel. That's where we were staying the night before. We set it to 23 degrees in our room, as I'm scrolling the wrong direction. Awesome breakfast. Kind of some sort of tortilla thing that was fried. I don't know. But it
Empanada.
tasted good.
I think it's an empanada. What was in it?
Chicken.
Empanada. I'm
Okay,
thinking it's an
sounds good.
empanada. I don't know what an empanada is, but I'm thinking it's an empanada.
It was good.
I like
though.
that
Some
word.
sort of pastry.
Pastry. I want to see it. Ooh.
This one didn't taste as good as the top one. I'm not sure what was in it.
How'd you say it anyway?
Coffee factory.
Yeah, we went to a, well, it was like a coffee mill thing, but, we didn't go into the mill part of it. We only went into the, like, farmy part of it. I'm gonna come over there and sit by you, Jared.
You can see in these pictures where they show us.
You're hijacking my vlog.
They do.
Damn you.
This is a plant that they had at the coffee farm.
Melch took pictures. I did not. So,
Random bus pictures. Blah 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 blah
we
blah.
went
blah,
to the
blah.
coffee mill after we left San Jose, and we drove for 2 hours-ish until we got to the town of La Fortuna.
Where we got to crack eggs on somebody's head.
So it was someone's birthday, and apparently it's tradition here to crack an egg on their head. I don't understand it, but it was funny to watch.
And then another one was a crack on her head, but they did it to a guy instead. And 3 people got messy from it.
The
I don't know what
person
happened.
whose birthday it was got a hard-boiled egg cracked on their head. The other 2 people who had eggs that they cracked on other people's heads were not hard-boiled. That's why you do not give teenagers chicken eggs.
There were only 2 eggs.
Silence.
There was 3.
I'm silencing you. Be quiet for the
Don't
duration of
silence
this
me.
video.
You were on the bus when the third one came out.
You're getting on the bus. Anyway,
I was on the bus.
Anyway, silence.
Yeah.
we had a really, really, really good lunch at a restaurant I've forgotten the name of. But it was really, really good, cansado.
Yeah, it was cansado.
Cansado, which is basically just,
Beans, rice.
black beans, rice, and then your choice of chicken, fish, vegetarian, or steak, and some sort of mango juice that was really, really good.
It was good.
And then a salad. and
Again,
a
don't
fried
know what was in
plantain.
it.
A fried plantain that I did not eat because it was slimy and disgusting.
And I had one of those for breakfast too.
Then we went to a waterfall. We saw the waterfall, and we went to the hot springs to finish off the day.
I have pictures of the waterfall.
Then we went to the hot springs to finish off the day, and that was our day before we got here to our cabanita. Cabinet. Or
And
cabinet.
fun fact, there's only Wi-Fi in the receptionist.
Yeah, we have no Wi-Fi in here, so we're gonna die here.
That's what we have to ask for the bus Wi-Fi password tomorrow.
Else we're gonna die. Bleh.
The gum in there, but even when like you can't obviously put it down there, because like there's something in front of it, it's one of the holes. So it's just sitting there so that's supposed to clean out, not like there's like a step to clean out.
And then suddenly the urinal
Did you start the
overflows.
video already?
Yes.
It's gonna be about 20 seconds. So that's gonna be the intro bit to day 3.
No, cut that out.
No.
If you
Not even slightly.
If you see this in post-editing, cut this beginning part out.
We're not listening. Okay. So, day 3 is done with in Costa Rica with Senor Melcher and Senor Parker and moi.
I don't exist.
We just got on day 3, and what do we do today, boys?
Finally got colognes.
Yes. Actually, where did I put mine? We actually got, finally in change, some colognes, and actually I'm going to show you
I
mine.
had some yesterday. What are you talking about?
About, you aren't relevant. You just said you don't exist. Anyway,
Love you too.
Here's a 5.
You know what? For that, I'm going for that.
so today is actually our last day in La Fortuna. Today we went to, we took a, what did we do?
Okay, first we went kayaking.
Kayaking, that's what my brain's trying to do. Well, they went kayaking. Parker and Jared went kayaking. Jared's kayak started sinking.
That was
More about
funny.
in a moment.
I took over.
while they were kayaking, actually, I was on the motorboat because I started getting like seasick and stuff. I don't know why. I wasn't even seasick. I started getting sick before we even got to the thing. It was like premature seasickness.
Mm-hmm.
It was
motion sickness.
It was the contemplation. I don't even, like, the thing is, I don't get motion sick very easily, or very often. But it just randomly happens. I'm not entirely sure why it did, but I just didn't feel good. And I think it made it actually because we went there. We went to the lake, the lake of the volcano. That the thing is like El Lago Arenal or something like that.
Yeah.
Arenal Lake, and on the way there, the road was very twisty and turning. And actually, in a few videos I took on the GoPro, which I also thought I lost. More on that later. On the way there, a lot of the roads here in Costa Rica are very twisty and turny because we go around a lot of mountains, which kind of like fill out the country. So I started getting kind of sick on the way there. I think it's because I didn't eat any breakfast. Because, duh. And so yeah, they went kayaking. And while they were kayaking, I was on the motorboat, kind of watching. And there was a moment where, as we were coming back to the place where the kayaks were stored, you could see on either side they had a guy on the front and a guy on the back to, you know, help the kayakers. Okay.
You're in the bathroom.
Thanks. Jared's kayak actually started sinking. He and his partner started sinking. And
I think we were just tipping enough where water was flowing in from the sides, not actual sink.
I'm not really sure what was happening, but it was fun to watch regardless. And so you start seeing Jared's on the front and his partner's on the back. And you start seeing it start to kind of tilt out of the water. And eventually it's like doing the Titanic thing where it starts going bloop. So we had to like do a rescue mission and bring them back aboard the motorboat. And Parker and our teacher, Senor Patterson, flipped their boat over.
No.
So that's what happened there. Silencio! So, the next thing we did...
And question?
Jared is yelling from the bathroom.
Question.
What?! Jared's kayak flipped twice! Twice! The first time they flipped it over, they're trying to get out of the lake after swimming. The second time they flipped it was when they were getting out after they started sinking. Then we went to a waterfall outside of La Fortuna, and it's apparently like this natural waterfall spring thing. I didn't go down to the waterfall. I believe Jared may have done. Did you go down, or did you just stay up at the restaurant? Parker and I just stayed, but there was like this really nice rainforest like restaurant thing that was up there, and this entire path takes down to the spring, goes through this rainforest. And we were actually walking this, and then there was this restaurant about halfway in there. And I stayed at that and talked with a few people from our group. Our group is actually made of, I don't know if I said this in a different recap, but our tour group is actually made of 3 different things. It's our school from a good old Grundy Center of only 7 people. That's the smallest group. There's a group from Crestwood, Iowa, and there's a group from Washougal, Washington. So I was talking with some of the Washingtonians while there, and we just sat there at the Rainforest Restaurant. Did you go down to the waterfall?
Yeah, I did. Mr. Patterson got some pictures.
I'm going to get some from him then and put them on top of this. Anyway, what did you think of the waterfall?
It was amazing.
Come over here and say it, you plebe.
It was amazing to actually see, but I didn't take any pictures because it was pouring out.
Yeah, it was in a rainforest, which it might imply the fact that it's going to be raining, maybe from the name. Not entirely sure what it implied that it was going to be raining in a rainforest, but it was raining in the rainforest.
Well, what if it's raining like
so the entire time it was raining while we were there. Actually, it was raining pretty much all day. From the time that we left this morning until about the time that we just got to our cabins now, it was raining. Then what did we do? We went on this chocolate tour after we came back for lunch.
At the waterfall still. I got to try a new food. I actually kept the bag. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh! Those like weird chip things, right?
Keeping all the souvenirs.
Unless somebody threw it away. I don't remember throwing it away. It probably got thrown away. I'm not sure.
He tried these new things that looked really good. They were like spicy Cheeto things almost.
They're like Takis. Fuego.
Okay.
Less fuego and more lime.
Then
More-
we went.
More in line.
We went to a.
That's why you gypped it.
You realize like none of this is gonna be properly edited.
Yeah,
Between
I
Mike and myself just sitting in a room, it's gonna be great. Then we went on this chocolate tour
No, we didn't.
at this chocolate cacao plantation, and that was actually really interesting because we learned a lot about just the process that they went through to make chocolate, and more of the process that like the ancient Aztecs people, like those two kind of people went through to make like chocolate and chocolate powder and the chocolate drink that they made for like Cortez and his
That
men.
was disgusting.
when
I
they came
got
over.
pictures.
That was disgusting.
It was bad because
but
they
I
put
think-
chili in the drink.
I
It was.
think the girl put too much spice in it when she did it. Though. I think it was her fault.
It was actually really, really interesting to see all this because they started explaining like the process of how you crushed up. Don't put it in front of the. No, Jared,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the pictures over
I
it.
know.
You freaking moron! So basically, they told you the process that they went through. So they started out with telling us about the actual cacao plants and where they came from and all that stuff, and then they started explaining stuff like how they crushed up the beans. And actually, through the entire process, we got to taste like almost like every stage. We did get to actually try the beans as they came out of the pod. The actual, yeah, I'm gonna put that. I'm definitely putting one of those pictures over top of it. They actually try the beans straight out of the pod. Like the pulpa is around them, and some people did bite into the bean. I'm one of those people,
I also
and
did
that
that.
was a mistake.
It wasn't that bad for me.
Then we actually got to try the beans after they were dried, after they were roasted, and then we got to try them as a powder, and everybody got a chance to actually grind up
Mm-hmm. And then
the powder. They
dance.
they melted chocolate. Basically, we got to try that with different toppings on top.
Mm-hmm. But didn't the dance happen first?
There was this instance where and you have a video of this.
I have a video
I
of
want
it.
you to send me that video so I can overlay it over this bit.
Oh
But
my!
basically, there was an instance where our tour guide, who's really nice and really, really funny, was telling us about how the Aztecs had to crush up the beans to make them to the powder fine enough to like grind it and everything. So he starts taking this like huge wood, like almost a mortar and pestle, but in a massive container almost, like a vase, but bigger, and just took this huge wooden rod and started smashing it. And then he said, "We're gonna do the indigenous dance for this." And there's like this really weird song. You're like dancing, like shaking his butt and doing this weird dance. And it's the most bizarre thing and one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Can't forget the sexy look.
And yeah, so you're gonna do the smashing of the beans and shake your butt, man. You bring it bring it around and give it a sexy look to the cameras and bring it around. It was really, really weird and really, really funny. I didn't have to do that. Instead, what I had to do was grind the beans later.
I had to pass out spoons.
And when I went to grind the beans, people were like jerking at it, like they couldn't get, like it was a coffee grinder sort of thing, and they couldn't get it to grind. This almost went for 10 minutes. I'm going to have to wrap it up here soon. They're trying to grind it, and they couldn't get it to grind.
He was able to grind it well.
Yeah, I heard someone go, "Damn, how's he doing that?" I was proud of that moment. What else? And then finally, to close the day, we got to visit the little town of La Fortuna. I didn't have either one of my cameras on me at the time because actually, this one was still in my bag, my camcorder, and my GoPro.
You couldn't find.
I couldn't find it.
It was in his backpack.
And it was at the bottom of my backpack, but I couldn't find it because I had thought I had lost it. And I couldn't know if I had lost it somewhere on the bus, or here in the cabin, or if I had somehow left it at the Arenal volcano trail.
That would have been bad.
That would have been really bad. And I was scared I had. But I didn't have that on me. I didn't have this on me. I wish I had though. But the entire time we were here, it was pouring rain in La Fortuna. We got to go to this really, really nice ice cream place. They were really, really good. The lady was annoyed at me for trying to speak Spanish.
It was Pops.
Pops. And then we went to the supermarket, and Jared bought some noodles.
And we went to a souvenir shop.
It's macaroni and cheese and whatever this is. As I
Cannolis. So he bought pasta for his sister because she wants a single noodle of pasta. And
who knows?
we went to the souvenir shop to finish that off and just took a look at that, which had wooden dildos in it, which was interesting. And then from Pops, I actually got my very first cologne from this country, which is actually the colones are their currency.
I also got mine first.
Yeah, he got a bill. I did not. I got
You got a ton.
100 colones coin from 1999 actually.
I have a 1997 I win.
This is a 2 mil bill, too.
Show that again.
Bell.
My camera might not be able to pick that up very high quality. But, yeah.
And then you also have...
It's not important.
Yeah, I know it's not important.
No más importante.
Okay, so you
And
have...
then finally, to close out the day, we had a lovely spaghetti dinner here at Las Cabanitas.
I didn't like how watery the sauce was.
I actually really liked it. It
Yeah.
put this meat
There's,
in the center
like,
of the course.
The thing about it is, like, this is obviously we're in Costa Rica, which is a Hispanic country, so their pasta is going to be different than, like, Italian pasta or American pasta. And their sauce was, Senor Patterson warned us, but it was going to be, like, more watery and less marinara-y than what we're used to. And actually, it was really, really good. The sauce had more of a spice and a kick to it.
And it made me sad.
And it had less of a, like, a flavor, I guess.
The meat
You
had...
couldn't... Go ahead.
And the meat had a lot more flavor than normal, too. Like, it was... had a lot of spice or something added to
Yeah,
it.
the meat was seasoned really well. And actually, the meat was really, really juicy. It tasted very nice. Someone knocked on my door.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Stop it. You're getting in if I can't. Match the chain.
We knew you'd
¿Quién
get
es?
to the point.
¿Quién
It's
es?
so wet right here.
It leaks in the room. Don't worry.
Really?
Somewhere.
Somewhere over here by my wall it leaks.
Well, at least it's not dripping on
¿Cómo se dice? Come here.
Ven aquí.
Ven aquí.
At least it's not
Ven
dripping.
aquí.
At least it's not dripping.
Muy rápido. Por favor.
At least it's not dripping on your bed like it is in my room.
Wait.
Haha.
Ven aquí, por favor.
I have a
Muy rápido.
¿Qué quieres?
Get down so the camera can actually see you. This is
yo, what's up?
This is Senor Patterson. He's the man who is putting up with us for the next.
Patty,
7
you
days
cannot pull off the yo, what's up with how you speak.
So we were just
Yo, what's up?
we were just explaining how we were ending off the day with the really nice meal here,
Okay.
and how everything tasted really nice. Is there anything you'd like to add on to how the day went?
The-
Obviously, you have no idea what we just talked about.
Too much rain.
Too much. That's pretty much been the topic of this one. Just it was raining the entire day. We went over his boat sinking. I think we went over him flipping your boat.
No.
Parker flipped us
No,
over.
Patterson said no.
No.
Where's your proof that it was me?
We went over. We went over the waterfall and how it was no surprise I was raining in the rainforest. And then finally the chocolate tour and our really, really great tour guide and his little dance professional and everything. Is there anything else you think was you'd be at? Oh, and our trek around La Fortuna while becoming increasingly moist.
And the
I'm
Pops
gonna-
employees being mad at Zach for not being able to speak. Like, it wasn't because he couldn't speak it, it's because he attempted to do it.
That was fun.
No habla español. Muy bien.
Like, all I did was I went in there, told him I wanted, and left. Zach tried to be all fancy with it.
I wasn't being fancy. I was trying to speak my native tongue.
I was trying to go as simple
See,
as possible.
I just said what I wanted. Zach like, quiero uno, and then
This is
whatever
15
the heck
minutes.
you
The
want.
longest one so far.
And the woman's like, just speak English.
She did. She said to me. I went. I asked her one thing. I think I said like un sundae fresa con chocolate or something like that. Por favor. And she looked at me and she said,
to speak in English. Which I'm assuming is not a very good sign of my Spanish speaking ability, considering she got really frustrated with me really quickly. But that actually was really good. The thing that I've noticed a lot about Costa Rica,
no one likes you.
the thing that there's a lot about Costa Rica so far is that if it advertises that you're getting fruit, it's really fresh fruit. They're not using like something they just unfroze, and, like from the grocery store or something. It's all like fresh stuff, like the strawberries that were in my ice cream were like fresh strawberries, and you could tell because they were like a strawberry syrup and they were, you know, cold and juicy strawberries. Yet they weren't dried out or anything.
The mango is really good too.
And all of the juices here are just the most, like, they're great juices. That's something like really minuscule to, like, just show over about a country. I figured it over a country for. But the juices are actually really, really good.
What I've noticed is if they say they have a mochaccino, they're not going to have the freaking mochaccino. I wanted the mochaccino, but we don't have mochaccino.
I got educated today, this afternoon, at the waterfall about different types of coffee. Obviously, I was sitting with a bunch of Washingtonians, and coffee, until today, I hadn't really noticed like how big of a part of their culture it is. And they were explaining to me like what an espresso was and what like a macchiato was and a latte were, because I had no idea, because I'm from Grundy Center, Iowa. I've only ever seen 2 Starbucks in my life. So
until the new coffee place opens in town, I'm not sure when
that's not a Starbucks.
It's supposed to be a Starbucks, but we'll have
that's
coffee.
the grind. I didn't know what all these things were. They're trying to explain it to me. In any case, I think that pretty much covers over today, doesn't it?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Peace out.
Days in winter, no, every day sun rises at 5:30 in the morning, and you will see sunset. It's again at 5:30 in the afternoon. So, let's say that Monteverde and Arenal are really close. They form a national or a protected area called corridor. Later you will learn about all these words. But let's say that everything, even Monteverde, it's from volcanic origin. Okay? So, chicos, just to finish corridor. Later you will learn about all these words. But let's say that everything, even Monteverde, it's from volcanic origin. Okay? So, chicos, just to finish, people, they ask me, why do you have so many volcanoes, active volcanoes and mountains and earthquakes? Because also we have one or big earthquakes every year. They what? They move. They move. Aha. See, they move, but okay, centimeters, not per year. Okay, little movements, centimeters per year. Okay, but that's right, they move. ¿Qué más? What else? Movements. Some of them, they move sideways. Some of them, they move up and down. How do you call the movement? Because there are, let's say, 2 main movements. How do you call when 2 tectonic plates, they collide? How do you call this movement? And how do you call the movement when the 2 plates, they move up away from each other? Divergent movement. Okay, see, these are the 2 main, let's say, movements. See, oceanic plates, they are made of basalt lava. Okay, so probably that's like the most important. Bueno, and let's say plate tectonics, it's a new theory. It's like the new version of continental drift. You remember about Pangea? And that the inside of the Earth, it's made up of hot molten rock, and you call that in English mantle. So the plates, they float on the mantle. Okay, and the driving force, that's also important, behind plate tectonics in Costa Rica, because in Panama, believe it or not, they do not have much earthquakes. Huh? But here in Costa Rica, we have a lot. So let's say that volcanism in Central America, it's associated to the subduction of the Coco plate under the Caribbean plate. Now I will I think it's gonna be like easier. I'm gonna read you something because there are some words that we need to have clear to continue to the next destination. So I say it will be easier if I read you group of mountains and volcanoes that come from North Alaska down to South America, and that's known as the Continental Divide, or some people call it also the Great Divide. Okay? Looks like the backbone of America. Storm with very strong winds that occurs especially in the west part of the Atlantic. Hurricane. Muy bien, chicos. Perfecto. It'll be like, I don't know, well, zip lining or flying from one hill to another, crossing a river. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful activity. Okay, so we're done. The people from other Central American or Latin American countries, they call the Costa Rican people ticos, okay? The tico, I am a fix, female it's a, and male it's o. Tico, tica, okay. So there we go. And they call us, or not, today the Quakers are the owners of one of the most, or the biggest, and most popular and high quality dairy, how do you say, dairy, una fábrica de quesos? Dairy production, okay? Cheese factory in Monteverde, producing all different kinds of cheese to the Quakers, but of course some other local people, they had, how do you say, add or join the project. Now most people that decide to protect this kind of vegetation were the Quakers that came again from Alabama, United States. So what you will see here, well, these are Brahman bulls, but in a moment you will get to see Jerseys and Holsteins for the dairy farming. All these little farmers here, they sell the milk to the cheese factory. Right now, produce milk to sell it to the cheese factory in Santa Elena. Also, coffee plantations. It's very popular here. It's also a brand of coffee called Monteverde coffee. And tourism, because I don't know why, but Monteverde is far, far away from the capital city, and you will see that some sections of the road, they are in very bad condition, but it's like some.
I have no idea what my GoPro is catching. I hope it's all good. My camcorder's in my bag, so if I really wanted to see what I'm recording, but we're going up and down mountains here.
Yeah, I'm not hard to impress, is mine.
It is raining. Bienvenidos a Monteverde. This is the nicest hotel we've had thus far.
Yes, it is.
There's Wild Melcher, he's leaving now. So, we arrived at Monteverde about long ago, actually maybe an hour ago. We checked in, we went to lunch, and we came to the hotel, and it is a wonderful, like a beautiful hotel. We have a wonderful view outside, as you just saw. I'm now spoiling it with my face. So look, best of both worlds. My beautiful face and the beautiful view. Lied. And then, silencio! 1 second. Recordo!
Yes.
Ay caramba.
Okay,
It's a very weird. We have a massive mirror here. I'm gonna pull my pantalones up. It's a very nice little hotel room. We can't get the electricity to work, but as soon as because of other things, a pretty nice bathroom, which again, new lights, me. So yes, we're in Monteverde with a very nice view outside. I realize now I could just go outside. I can show that. There's our wonderful view. So yes, that's Monteverde. Al momento, anyway. Pretty soon we're going to the high school here, the Technical High School of Monteverde, Colegio Technical de Monteverde, I believe is how you would say that. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish. I just kind of pretend that I do. But, yeah. We only just arrived at beautiful Monteverde, and now the door is knocking at me, so I'm going to call that good for now. Let's look at the people to see who it is. I think it's Jared.
What is that?
It's a GoPro. Das ist das. Café de Costa Rica.
I love toucans so much. So
I
cute.
thought it was a duck.
No, it's a toucan.
Why not one can? But I say canids. Oh my god.
Oh, this would break if I bought it. If I tried bringing it.
It would break the moment you paid for it. There we go. Now it started. What'd you think?
It was fun.
Why didn't you go, you freaking loser? What?
I don't like height.
It's no excuse. Actually, it wasn't that bad. There's only a few of them that were actually really, really high. The rest of them were relatively low to the ground.
Yeah. I just didn't like all the walking and stuff.
Yeah.
Kenneth helped me on the last ones, and he helped me. Good time.
This is the best part of the whole thing.
Did you get pictures?
I have a few on this now. And a video. I saw your amazing pictures there. Shush. Compared to everyone else, Jeannie's look quite good. Madison had the best one. There are people who got like the best. Did you see the person who like the camera got him? It looked like one of those gifts that just keeps zooming into the face. Yes. Like, that was Kowali. Hey Madison. He was. What'd you think? Was it fun?
Yeah.
You actually want to tell the camera that. Caterpillar. Just having a munch on the flower. Just having a chilly little munch on the flower. This is a mountain goat, but on a flower. It's a flower mountain goat.
Why? Is it just because it has fur?
And because, look at it, it's quite clearly a flower mountain goat. It's on a mountain, it is climbing, and it's on the flower. Goat, mountain, flower. Flower mountain goat.
Makes sense.
Tristan's doubting me. Why are you doubting me? It does make sense. You guys didn't even do anything funny this time for my intro bit.
Let it get started.
You guys haven't known. You guys haven't known I've started. I just have Jared's shadow just dancing in the background.
I'm out here.
And then I moved, covered up my head, trying to explain.
Can I have some more tomatoes to throw in?
No.
You were at Yellowstone in 1872?
Where was the other thing of tomatoes? I want to throw more tomatoes in.
What's going on there?
No, it's right underneath you.
Yeah, it's under there.
No, on your chair. Underneath.
Silencio. So, day. Dia cinco. Still don't think that's correct.
Tomatoes.
Why? Why? Why?
It's day something.
I'll stop.
El 20 de Julio. The 5th day of our trip. 20th of July. Jesus Christ. The 5th day of our trip. We're halfway through the festivities of our little trip.
Well, I need to bleep.
July 20th.
Keep what out?
I don't know. I just want to bleep something out.
You're not editing any of this.
I want to bleep something out.
No. This is our last night, our last day in Monteverde. We started off the day with going on a really fun zip line course, which I didn't actually get any videos of the actual zip lining.
And I didn't do.
Yeah, Parker didn't go on it. Melch and I did it. We really enjoyed that. I didn't know, did you? It was really fun. There's a few shorter ones, but there was a lot of, like, there's this really fun zip line where it was half a mile long. And they told you not to brake the entire time. And it started out, you were kind of in a thicket of trees. Like, you started off in the cloud forest. And as you got through, you ended up in, like, the valley. And it was, like, this really terrifying, like, gravity-defying moment where you're like, I really shouldn't be up here. I should be down there.
It kind of was making me feel like that I was going to get stuck in the middle because it kind of curves down and goes up again.
Could you stay in frame?
Okay. It goes down and then up again, and it kind of made you feel like you're going to get stuck in the center, right over the gigantic valley.
It's going to be Senor, isn't it?
Why are you here? I'm tired.
See, I started recording. We got through 2 minutes before Senor Patterson interrupted us.
He go.
Sit over here.
I today I also magnetized the card. That was good.
Yeah, we're gonna go over that last. You'll just wait to hear the story, Patterson. Just wait. So the zip lining course was actually really fun. And my GoPro, I didn't have the mounts for my GoPro to my helmet, so I didn't get back caught. But once we got to the end, the only bit I do have on my GoPro from that entire ordeal is the macaws that were in the equipment room.
And when we got back on the bus after the ziplining place, I realized I had placed the key card for our room next to my cell phone.
Yes. Okay. Now, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind for a moment. We'll come back to it later. After that, we went to this cloud forest walk. Do you mind?
Not really.
We went on this cloud forest walk, and by we, I mean literally one person from the Grundy Center group went on the cloud forest walk.
Did Madison also go? Madison and I?
I don't know.
I think two. Right?
2 people. 2 of our 7 people went on the cloud forest walk, and the rest of us stayed behind and enjoyed empanadas and soda in the cafe they had there. After that, we came back to Santa Elena, correct? We came back to Santa Elena, where the other 2 groups that are with us, the Washington and the Crestwood group, both went to this farm experience for this like organic farm thing going on. And
the Grundy group, our group remained in Santa Helena and had enjoyed a few hours there. We discovered that Parker is no longer allowed to have more than 0 cups of coffee of any degree within one day. Don't, silencio.
I'm always carrying this glass, so there's a lot of coffee in the morning.
If we throw tomatoes at Zach.
That was on frame, but I saw it.
Can I throw a bottle at him? Hold on. Gotta get these names
That has to be a blooper.
Well, there is no bloopers, because you know how much of this is getting edited?
Muy.
It's gonna get like a fancy. Like,
Nada.
Muy.
Muy nada. Much nothing. A lot of nothing. Very nothing. Muy is very.
How do you say lemon?
Yeah, I just kept saying very.
What?
Limon.
What is lime?
Simon Limon.
Limon.
Why are they both limon?
With an accent, without an accent?
They're both acidic.
They're not the same thing. One's a lemon, one's a lime.
Yeah, but no. Limon and limon, because it depends on the context you're saying.
Yes, but no.
That's like most of...
But like, if I went down to the supermarket and I asked for a limon, they would give me a lemon.
You wouldn't ask for a limon, you ask for a lemon. Or a lime. You would not ask for a limon. Un limon.
Why are we yelling?
I don't know.
He started yelling, I started yelling, so then he started yelling, and then you asked why. Too funny.
Another one bites the dust.
They had a good 2.5 minutes.
Now he's gonna use our restroom.
Why is everybody who comes in our room using our restroom?
Who's all in your room?
Maddie?
Madison came in until her roommates came, so.
Sorry, Jack. This one just fell apart.
Do you want a Violetta?
Move your face. It's not focusing on what I want to focus on.
Or mint?
No, move. I want to focus on that.
On the ingredients?
See. Focus.
It will get there.
Is he running the bathtub? So, day 5 is going to be named the failed recap. Sabor artificial a violeta.
No.
Focus. Focus. There we go.
Mint.
That was day 5 in a nutshell.
No, there was more.
A bunch of things going wrong until they finally culminated, sorry, not cultivated, cultivated, but they did at the farm.
There was more.
You're talking about the wall. Well, the empanada.
I did too.
You did when?
Whenever you were talking with Senor.
Oh.
What'd you throw at him?
I forgot.
Did you throw my violettas?
Maybe.
So.
I don't even know. Basically, it was a big failure of a day. A lot of souvenir shops.
Find it?
Dildo bottle openers.
Jeeps.
Jeeps. Oh!
The Jeep boat Jeep.
Maui.
I was forgetting. I didn't take any pictures or videos of Jeep.
Okay.
Every single tour place, like tour office we went by, had a bullet point like on their advertisements that said Jeep, and that was it. We have no idea what the Jeep was, but we know it was there, and it was something apparently. Oops. Buenas noches. So today was a pretty slow day. Actually, we drove from Monteverde to where we are now. I don't remember Heidi giving us any information as to what or where we actually were. According to my phone, it's like Estrella Oesta or something like that. I don't even remember. But we're sitting in this really hotel called Costa Pacifica, I believe, hotel. It's apparently under renovation or something, and you can tell by the hotel, which I'll show that later, maybe, I don't know. People are outside being people and having personal moments. I don't want to intrude on that. Anyway, between the drive from Monteverde to here, we stopped and we went on I don't remember. Parker, what was the first thing we did today? Un momento. Crocodile tour. That's what we did first. I didn't just walk outside for a few minutes trying to figure that one out. We did a crocodile tour, which was, it was pretty much just a bird watching thing. We did see a few crocodiles, but I didn't have my GoPro on me because, but that was about it. We saw a few birds, a few lizards, that was about it. We then went to, we then went, close the door. We then went to,
Where's Parker?
gone right there.
Oh, he's camouflaged.
We then went on a gondola tram thing, as a nature spotting thing, which I wasn't a very big fan of either. I'm getting about as tired of nature walk things as I can possibly be tired of.
I don't think it's that bad. We got to see some neat animals.
Neat animals.
And some neat plants.
How old are you?
17.
70?
17.
70. He's 70. He sounds like it. got here, and we spent most of the night here, just kind of chilling.
Where we met a cat, un gato.
Princesa, it's a
La
female. A gata.
Well, yeah, una gata instead of un.
And a gata who is named Princesa. We have a lizard in our room, Wyatt named Arthur.
Silencio.
That's about it. That's all what happened. We went to the supermarket. I have fruit in the fridge I was just sitting on because I don't have a tripod. So my method of recording is setting this on whatever object I can get my face on. Or not.
So,
Whatever.
there's also a pool room where you could play games of
There's
pool.
a pool, but there's also a recreation room.
Pool,
Where you can play
ping
pool.
pong,
Yeah.
foosball. And they also had a Blu-ray player with surround sound system. And somebody connected their phone using Bluetooth, turned the volume way up, so they're blasting music.
I could feel Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. Alright, so there we go. That's day... Dos, tres, cuatro. Day 4 down in Costa Rica. This is only going to be me this time. Parker's over there doing his Parker things, and Jared's downstairs eating supper at the moment. So, just me. We're currently just doing this in the really, really nice hotel we're staying in Monteverde. And today was actually a pretty slow and boring day. We spent a few hours just driving here to Monteverde from La Fortuna. And I will say this hotel is already much better. We had a really, really nice lunch and supper both by the hotel here. For lunch we had some Spanish rice with some, I can't remember what else. I feel ever so slightly bad. But then we went to the local high school, but technical high school here in Monteverde, and we visited them. We saw a really, really nice performance by our dance club there. A bunch of traditional dances here in Costa Rica from their past and their tradition and just their history and their heritage, which is really, really interesting. They're all really, really nice people. They're all really our age, like elementary to high schoolers, people that we could identify with almost. And then we showed them the cha-cha slide. The Americans showed them our traditional dance, which was the cha-cha slide and the Cupid shuffle, apparently. And then we had empanadas with them. Empanadas are actually really, really good. They're like a corn dough flour thing that you then kind of like make with sort of like an omelet. Essentially is how you make them. And you fill them with meat or vegetables or cheese or whatever. Fold them up and then you fry them. So it's sort of like an omelet, but instead of using eggs, you're using corn flour, cornstarch, I believe. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. And then we closed off the night by coming here to our hotel in Monteverde. Some people went on this this night hike in the cloud forest here. I didn't go actually. I chose not to, and Parker did too. Jared went on it though, and I hope Jared will be back sooner or later to tell a little bit about his experiences there. But that was pretty much today. Monteverde, the trip was pretty much it. Actually, on the trip though, we got into a lot of incidents. I got kind of car sick for a little bit, but it was all a very, very nice drive. We got to stop in the little town of Tilabran, and that was a nice little fun place to stay for about 30 minutes. We walked around there, and then we got here to Monteverde after we had left from the high school. Before we went to the high school, my bad, we took a walk around Monteverde. Went to a couple souvenir stores and had some ice cream there, and it was all very good. On the way, it was really, really weird and surreal almost. We went from like a sort of like jungle foresty bits, like rainforest, to some like open plains and mountains and stuff. It was really, really weird and really, really cool, because suddenly it went from like this really tropical rainforest to suddenly all these hills and mountains with like the same kind of trees we see here. Not here, obviously I'm in Costa Rica, but like in Iowa. It was really, really weird to really, really weird to see all of that. I realize that most of what I'm saying is not going to be not audible, but not understandable because the way I talk. Un momento, por favor. Now, I'm trying to remember where I left off. We went around, basically drove across Costa Rica, where La Fortuna was, coming up to Monteverde. And we had to cross the continental divide, and to cross from the Pacific side to the Caribbean side, or maybe it was vice versa. Parker, do you remember if we had to cross from the Caribbean to the Pacific or the Pacific to the Caribbean? We crossed the divide.
I believe we went Pacific to Caribbean.
I was right.
Could be wrong though. I know that I always wanted to be 76, so.
Lincoln's gonna teach him a lesson. I missed. Anyway, there was a lot of hills and mountains we had to go through, obviously, because this is Costa Rica. And Costa Rica is not a very flat country. It's actually very, very mountainous and hilly country. And we learned a lot just about how the nation, how much of it is volcanic, like actually active volcanoes and things, which is really, really interesting. We have a really nice tour guide named Miss Heidi, and she taught us a lot about that kind of stuff. And then on the way here, we had to cross temporary bridges and things. And I believe I have a video on the GoPro showing Mr. Eric, our bus driver, as he made the desperate attempt to cross this temporary bridge, because we're in this long charter tour bus. In case you haven't gotten that vibe from any of the past recaps and videos from the GoPro and things, we are on a long charter tour bus thing. That long charter tour bus thing is not, it's not exactly, you know, the nimblest, most maneuverable thing in the world. It's not a motorbike. It is a charter tour bus thing. And trying to pilot that around some of these turns in Costa Rica is some of the most harrowing experiences I've ever had as a passenger in a motor vehicle. And I can say that because I've driven with Parker. It is awful. And we were basically going around like a hairpin turn in this tour bus trying to get onto this temporary bridge. And it was weird and terrifying. But once we got across it, we started going back up the mountain. And the roads and things went from pavement to gravel, like instantly. There was no gradual change. It was up, asphalt up, you're on gravel now. And the scenery that we were in basically felt like we were in Iowa again. Except for I come from Guernsey Center, where everything's flat there. We didn't really have hills and things, but you get up into northeastern Iowa and it's all hills, pretty much. And that's very much what it felt like. And coming up to Monteverde from La Fortuna was, you know, all these hills and things that we had to go up. And all the housing and everything was a really, really rural area that we were in. But we got some excellent views that I got with like the GoPro and things and my camera and my phone. Some of the views were fantastic from up there, and Jared got some really, really good shots too. We were sitting on the left side of the bus, and none of the really good views though were on the right side of the bus, so we didn't catch everything obviously, but we tried. We found out that was on a fun trek from from where our rooms are at this lovely hotel to where the reception area is, because this hotel is segmented a lot. And if you saw in my whole video explaining we were now at Monteverde, we have a balcony. In fact, right over here we have a balcony. Now that balcony can only be a balcony because there's no space below it. Well, there's a lot of space below it, but there's no floor. It is freestanding. We are on the second floor. Now this hotel, This hotel is situated on a mountain here in Monteverde. Right. So we had to travel down to get to reception. Down this hill, we're in room 715 out of like 908 rooms. We make a trek, and it was not a fun trek. We were pretty sure we could just roll Parker to the mountain and get there in their faster than we would. It was not fun. No bueno. No me gusta. But we survived, obviously, because I'm making this now. As I'm a ghost. I'm white enough to be anyway. So that was pretty much that. That was everything. Whenever Jared comes back, hopefully I can get him to see me with the Cloud Forest. I didn't go. I heard a lot of good things about it, though. It sounds like it was a really fun thing. I just didn't go because I didn't feel like, going through the effort of getting ready for that. I was already very tired and very hungry and just done with my day already. So I wanted to come upstairs and take a nap. That didn't happen because Senora Patterson came in. More on that later. Anyway, that's day 4. Dia 4. Done and in the books for this trip. Anything else? Oh yeah, 2 things we learned on this trip so far. 2 things never to stop in Costa Rica. The traffic and the rain. The rain never stops. Ooh, I got a snap from Mike. Hell yeah, man, I'm excited. And there will be no editing. There will be much editing. Mucho edito. I don't think my accent is Spanish.